Okay, so for the Darren Latham Glow Up miniature challenge, I am taking this old Crimson Fist miniature Captain Cortez. It's a really cool character. If you ever read the Rincewild novel, he's pretty awesome in that. And yeah, so essentially what the Glow Up challenge is you take a miniature that you painted a while ago, and for me, I don't know, 10 years at least, maybe longer. Not to say that my painting's improved vastly in that time, but I'm sure I can definitely give him a better paint job than what he's got here. I'm also going to give him a new base as well. So yeah, I've taken a couple of pictures, just so we've got the before photos. So yeah, now it's a case of pulling him off the base, which is very easy, and that's a resin base, so it's only glued on with super glue. And I'm going to strip his paint. So I'll put him in this little tub, and I'm going to take some Biostrip 20. There's various ways of stripping paint off miniatures. I've done a whole video on our old channel regarding that. I can't get any out of here. Oh, just knocked something on the floor. Yeah, I know what it looks like. Behave. You're all immature. But essentially with this stuff, you don't need to fill the whole tub full of it. You just need to sort of just chuck it on the miniature like that. And I'm going to give him about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll start scrubbing it off, and hopefully the paint will come off with it. Okay, let's get some of this off him. So I've got this old electric toothbrush head here, and I'm going to give him a nice scrub, and you can see that's coming off already. Now I'm not going to be able to get every tiny little piece off here, but I'll get most of it off. So yeah, I'm just going to go around the miniature, give him a scrub, I'll give him a rinse after, maybe try and scrape away some little bits in the recesses with a knife or a needle or something, and then I'll start working on his new paint job. Okay, so while he is drying, I'm having his paint removed. I'm going to work on the base. So I've got some bits here from Epic Basin. If you're not familiar with them, do check out their website. They have some really cool 3D printed bits for basing, and you can also just buy the STLs if you have a printer yourself. And I've got some cork here, so a couple of bits of cork tile there, which I've already cut to size and shape. I'm going to put that on there with that on top. So this base design is inspired actually by one of Epic Basin's little videos and the little reels I saw on Instagram, so it's a very similar sort of thing. And yeah, I've got some little broken bits as well, which I'm going to put on the side. So I'll start by getting all that glued down. So next up was to add some texture to the base, and this is something I haven't actually tried before, so let's hope it goes well. But I'm going to take some Valhalla Blizzard, and rather than mixing up like some wall filler or anything like that, just to texture over this cork, I'm going to use this instead. And in theory I hope it gives the same result. I don't know if it will dry hard enough, but in which case if it doesn't, I can just put some PVA over it. But this just helps remove that seam between the two pieces. Okay, and here's how the base is looking with that texture paste applied, and I've also used some Astrogranite texture paint as well, just on the bottom of the base and little sections on the top. Cortez himself, I managed to get him down to about this much, which I think should be fine. So now's the case just to get him on the base. I was thinking of painting them separate, but I'll just keep them on the base, I think. And yeah, we'll get them primed as well, and then we'll start painting them and see just how much of a better paint job I can try and do on this miniature. Okay, so here he is now. I just used the Black Vallejo Surface Brush On Primer. I use the brush on primers quite a lot these days. Just 'cause it's just easier. I've got them right here. And yeah, he's on the base. I've got him on a GW painting handle. So in this video, I'm not going to show you a whole step-by-step guide to painting them. Probably gone for quite some time. So what I'm going to do is just show little steps along the way. So I'm going to start with some base coat, and I'm going to get some Cantor Blue for base coat. So I'm going to do my Crimson Fist a bit lighter than my previous paint job. So with my old Crimson Fist army, they were like really dark blue on the armour. So I'm going to go for a more traditional lighter blue and see how that comes out. And I'm going to spend a bit more time doing highlights and shades and stuff, and hopefully it'll be nice. But for now, let's get the base coats down. And this first step of laying down Cantor Blue will probably be the only step in the entire paint job where it can be a little bit messy. I haven't quite decided the colour scheme for the base, but I'll probably do something quite contrasting to the blue, so maybe like an orangey brown in there somewhere. And yeah, some other colours as well. We'll see. I could do the pipe quite rusty, so we'll get the orange from that. We'll see. Obviously, don't want to distract too much away from the actual miniature. Okay, so I've got some base coats down. Now, before, I would probably just whack a wash over all of these colours, and sometimes, if you watch some of my painting tutorials, especially on the old channel, I would do that if I'm doing stuff to a quick tabletop standard. I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to be a bit more focused with some of the washes, and maybe not even apply them on some parts at all. So starting with the armour, I'm gonna black line all the armour panels. So essentially, rather than just washing all over, I'm just gonna paint a black wash into the recesses and add some contrast between all of these panels. So got a little bit of non-oil. I'll make a little start on video, and then I'll go around off camera getting that done. There's not much non-oil left in my pot. I'm not sure this is the best brush for it, but we'll make a little start. We'll start on the foot here. So yeah, just very carefully going around like so. I may actually switch out to a contrast paint rather than a wash, just because I think with Black Templar contrast will just be a little bit darker, as they are slightly thicker than a wash, only slightly. And yeah, that will probably give us a bit more contrast between these. Okay, so here's how he's looking at the moment. And the black line, and you can see it a lot more obvious on the red areas, but we're going to concentrate on the armour at the moment, and I'm going to start glazing in highlights, and you can already see where the light's hitting the miniature, where we need these highlights to be. So I've mixed in some Leviathan Blue by Two Thin Coats with the Cantor Blue. I don't know the exact ratio, but I would guess possibly maybe a 2 to 1. I don't know, I just sort of guess it. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'm going to be glazing on highlights, not something I used to do at all. Again, if I'm doing stuff for just the tabletop, I very rarely would glaze much. But when I'm trying to paint well, or well by my own standards, then yeah, definitely glazes or blending, things like that, are definitely a way to go. And really, I should be dragging these highlights, or dragging this colour up to where the highlights would be, rather than going down. So when you're glazing, it's always a good idea to move the brush towards where you want the highlight to be the lightest. So I'll do a few coats of this and then add a lighter glaze in as well, and see where that leaves us. I'll probably do a little bit of edge highlighting in areas as well, just to add extra contrast. Okay, so here's how he's looking after a little bit of work on the armour. So of course, I'm never going to be an amazing painter, and there's still some more work I want to do. Clean up that shoulder pad and smooth out some transition on the arm, but sort of coming along now. So yeah, I did do a few glazes, and there was a bit more contrast to it, but I just decided to grab some Azurine blue and just do a sort of thin glaze with that, just to lighten up the armour a little bit more. So I think I just need to add a little bit more depth and just a little bit more on the highlights again. Because I think sort of higher contrast always looks really nice, but you gotta get it right. You gotta sort of have some smoother transitions as well, like on the shoulder pad. Like, there's a lot of contrast there, but it needs to be smoothed. And yeah, it's a lot of work. I've done a little bit of highlight on the red. You can see on the Power Fist. I'm quite liking that. I'll do some higher, sharper, lighter highlights on there. I've done a little bit on the little tabardy thing as well, but I don't want that to be sort of as bright with the highlights. I don't want it to be as dark with the shadows either. I don't want there to be as much contrast on that. But yeah, it's getting there. And then I'll do some extra work on the base as well, but yeah, he's coming along quite nicely. He's already looking better than he was anyway, so that's something. That is the aim of this, after all. Okay, so I've added some more highlights to certain areas. There's still some other areas I need to do. It's hair, purity seals, and I've done a little bit on the rocks on the base and the mud and all that. There's still a bit more I want to do on it. I'm really happy with how the pipe's looking. It's really sort of dirty and rusty. Really happy with that. So essentially, I used a lot. Some Agrex Aftershade over it, and then some of this iron oxide from Tooth and Coats. And the armour, I'm quite happy with now. I probably could spend a little bit more time on it, but I'm quite happy with the final result. That's looking quite nice. It's on silver on the eagle there. Now I've just been working on the face, but again the eyes and teeth and that needs to be done. His hair, purity seals, be the next thing. And yeah, I'm not really too sure what to do about the rocks, so. But I like how he's looking. He's certainly an improvement on how he was before. So I think I'll try and finish him up and then show him in the next clip, and we'll do some side-by-side comparisons. And yeah, then he'll be done. Okay, so I'm going to call him done here, pretty much because I'm running out of time. There is more I could probably do to this miniature to make it look a little bit better. But as it is, this is where I'm going to have to leave it. I'll show you a 360 in a sec. So yeah, here is the finished miniature. And yes, he's definitely an improvement on the one before. Whether my painting is, my painting skills got that much better over the last 10 or so years, I don't know. Mostly because I don't spend a lot of time on maybe learning new techniques or spending time on display pieces or anything like that. I normally just like to make miniatures for armies, even when I don't play. But yeah, maybe I'll try and spend some more time on some more miniatures every now and then to break things up as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. I think he's a pretty cool miniature and he looks pretty nice, and the base I'm quite happy with, even if it's quite simple. I think it's turned out quite nice. So yeah, all in all, definitely a glow up. It's hard to deny that, at least. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, it's a bit of a funny one, just like a sort of video diary type thing. But if you have enjoyed it, then at least do give it a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're trying to just sort of get the subscriber count back up on this one, and maybe one day we'll catch up to a number on the old channel. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next video.